Welcome back to the Simple Farmhouse Life podcast. This is episode 81. I took a little break last week for Christmas. I didn't really intend to do it, but let's be real, it was just a really good excuse. Whenever it was getting to be Thursday, which is my upload day for podcast, I was like, you know what? It's going to be Christmas Eve. Nobody's going to miss me. So maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but I definitely use that as an excuse just to bake Christmas cookies, wrap presents, all of those cozy Christmas things. But I am ready to get back into it. I am tossing around the idea in my head of doing 2 episodes a week, but definitely not a firm commitment on that just yet, as I have just 2 videos every week for YouTube, 2 blog posts. I have my private Facebook group, and it's hard to just get it all straight and compose my thoughts, but I am hoping to ramp it up a little bit. If not, there will be an episode every Thursday going forward. So for this week, I want to talk about something that has really been on my mind, on my heart, and something that I'm really hoping to be better about in 2021. And I'm sure a lot of you will resonate with this and can relate with the just the burden that it is. But I want to talk about the addiction to our cell phones. I know we're all talking about it. I've heard podcasts and YouTube videos on it, but that's because it is a modern problem and we don't really have a modern solution. My name is Lisa, mom of 6 and creator of the blog and YouTube channel Farmhouse on Boone. Join me as I share with you my love for creating a handmade home from scratch cooking and a little mom and entrepreneur life along the way. I have to be honest that for a while, I was legitimately tossing around the idea of getting a flip phone. I was researching flip phones, planning to purchase one, and I just didn't bring myself to do it. Let's be real. I slept on, thought about the idea for a good week after deciding that I was going to do it. And in that time, I just noticed so many things that my phone is intertwined in my life, and where I realized that it would just be so hard. And then I always have this conversation with myself where I'm like, why do you have to take something good and take it away? Why can't you just control the pull of it instead? Because that's what you want to do. It's like, okay, there are so many useful things on my phone. I deposit my checks on my bank app. I use maps. I have a camera in my kids' room so I can, check on Daniel while he's napping. I have a little monitor that if Micah leaves his room, it goes off in the middle of the night. So I need my phone for that. I have security cameras. I have a remote for the TV on my phone. I have an app that starts my little vacuum. I mean, everything. Our phones are so intertwined in our lives that it really becomes hard to cut them off. I order my groceries through Instacart, which, because I live 10 miles from town, it saves me, hours. Doing a weekly grocery shop, especially with all the kids, that is worth so much to me. And so then I start thinking, okay, how can I control the use of this little item and use it for all of its advantages, but not check Instagram on the way upstairs, putting away the laundry, or while I should be staring at my little nursing baby's cute, adorable little feet and his little blue eyes and his hand that strokes my skin while I'm nursing him. Why am I looking at Instagram during those times? And so as usual, I end up justifying it and trying to think of ways that, okay, maybe I'll just check 10 minutes in the morning will be my limit. And I never find those to be overly effective. But I have a new plan for 2021. And by coming on this podcast and talking about it, I have some level of accountability. I have to answer to you all again. But I am trying a new method. And I did this today, where when I leave my room, I put the phone in the top drawer of the nightstand and then walk away. And today I didn't pick up my phone at all until 1 in the afternoon. I made a phone call. I checked in on Instagram. It felt good. You know, the days are still busy and the days are still hard. When you're a mom and you have food to cook and laundry to do, it's still a lot. It's still chaos. It's still so much, there can be stress. And I do have this temptation to think, okay, but if I eliminate looking at my phone, all of that's going to go away. And the truth is, it's never that easy. There's never like this cut and dry. If I make these rules, then life will just be easy and not hard. But I did find that in these tiny little moments, like when I would pick up my phone on the way out to milk the goats, or when I'm standing there waiting for my smoothie to finish blending, check in on Instagram. Those are those tiny moments where if I don't jump on my phone, I might think of a good video idea for YouTube, or I might say a prayer, talk to God. These moments of boredom are what leads to this. And we are so robbed. And I can't help but continuously thinking of the scripture where it says, this is the New King James Version, but it says, if your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it from you, for it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish than for your whole body to be cast into hell. I know that's a heavy verse. I might lose some followers over that one, but that is the Bible, and I won't apologize for the Bible. But I was listening to a John Piper sermon, and he was talking about how you aren't living the Christian life. And in John Piper, he really shares hard truths. He doesn't beat around the bush. And so if you want to feel really convicted and not just feel good about what someone's telling you, listen to John Piper. But he was telling that you're not really living the Christian life if you're not having a constant dialogue with God, if you're not carving out time every day to pray. And I have to be honest, my phone has stolen that time away from me. And I believe it's stolen that time away from a lot of Christians. And so I was thinking about taking some pretty drastic measures. And I thought about how with my business, I could do a flip phone. I lied to myself and said I couldn't because, I have a business, I have a blog. Well, I could use Luke's phone to post to Instagram. I probably spend about 5 minutes a day doing something productive on Instagram, and the rest of the time just filling my head with information that, it's not bad information. I follow a lot of beautiful, inspiring, just encouraging content, just filling my head in times that I need to be spending with God. And I don't have that kind of extra time. And so I need to cling to every spare minute. And so I figured, I could, for the 5 minutes a day I spend doing something productive on Instagram, I could definitely just use Luke's phone to post. I can check Instagram on the computer. I can check Facebook on the computer. Long before I had a smartphone, I got on social media and scrolled through it. It's just, you couldn't check Instagram while standing at your blender or while drying your hair. You had to be sitting down at the computer, committed to do that. And that is where I used to be. Now, the one thing that would be tricky for Instagram that I at first was like, okay, this is a deal breaker for having my phone sit up in a drawer would be Instagram stories. But one, I don't do them. I have great intentions of doing them. I know as a business owner, blogger, content creator, I should do them. But in perfect honesty and reality, I don't. And I know that if I decided that I got a little shot of motivation and suddenly I want to do Instagram stories, I could just carry around my vlog camera, shoot vertical footage, and then put it in my phone later and just upload them all at 7 o'clock when I got my phone out for the night. So it's really a bad excuse because the thing is I am so distracted by Instagram. Like I get on, I see I have comments, I see I have DMs, that I don't even end up doing the productive thing on there. So I know that if I just carried around my camera all day, focused and in the zone on my content, later on at night, I could totally upload them. Again, I don't really do much in the way of Instagram stories anyway, but this really wouldn't be a deal breaker. Even if I had a flip phone, I could record vertical footage all day and then at night say, hey, Luke, could I borrow your phone for about 20 minutes? I need to do my one Instagram post and upload some stories, because I can even answer DMs on the computer. Again, I'm not even talking about not getting on social media on my computer. I'm just talking about having to be committed to sitting down at the computer. I'm going to sit down and answer DMs for 30 minutes. Whatever it is, it's going to be a focused and an intentional time, not this like on the fly, I'm stirring my soup and looking through Instagram. I held out for so long on the smartphone thing. I was like one of those people who wasn't going to do it. And I actually just got my first phone with internet 4.5 years ago, which that sounds like a while now, but it was so late to the game. I had to, when people would tell me where their address was to meet them, I'd be like, tell me the actual right and left, because I'm not going to make it, or I'll have to go home and print off MapQuest directions because I don't have a smartphone. And in those 4.5 years, I've realized just how intertwined and how much we rely on the smartphones. So my goal and my intention for 2021 is to leave my phone in the nightstand, so away, just not near me, for the better portion of the day. I haven't set out my exact rules just yet, because there are things that I just don't want to miss. I have a few podcasts that I told Luke, I'm like, I could get rid of my smartphone, but I just don't want to miss those. But here's the thing. If I don't find this leaving it in the drawer thing effective, I'm going to have to take more drastic measures, because I want those bored moments of the day. I don't want to be scrolling. I don't want to fill my head with all of this useless information that, though inspiring, though beautiful, I want to only fill my brain with those in the moments where I'm actually focusing on it. So I'm still going to, even if I got a flip phone, I'm still going to be on Instagram. It's just going to be in the evening when I'm at my computer. I'm going to have to be sitting down at my computer to do it. It's just not going to be when I'm running up the stairs. I've noticed that there's this beautiful window in the middle of our staircase. So our staircase, it turns halfway up. It's a Victorian staircase. And when I get halfway up, there's this window that overlooks the backyard. And the other day I caught a glimpse of it and I was like, I never look out this window, because when I'm running up the stairs, I use it as an opportunity to refresh Instagram. And don't tell me you all don't do that too. I cannot be the only one who every spare moment of every day, I get all my work done. I'm busy most of the day. I'm making food. I'm doing laundry. But when I have a moment, I want to check my phone, and it just has to stop. And so I'll let you know, I'll update you on what the exact terms of this are. Today it was just like, leave it in the drawer as long as possible. Don't check Instagram. But I'm thinking about giving myself some time so that it's not a goal that I can't reach. I was talking about this back in episode 45 of this podcast, how I set goals and how you reach goals. And one of the big keys with any goal is making it something that's achievable. It can't be something that is completely impossible, because you'll just give up in a moment of weakness. And so I know myself, and I know that I'm going to have to set some parameters. I'm going to have to allow myself some podcast time. And I'm kind of thinking like it's going to stay in the drawer from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then I can listen to podcasts while I'm cleaning up dinner and doing chores and things like that. I'm kind of thinking that's the direction I'm going to go, but I'm going to have to set some limitations, because I have been addicted to my cell phone, and that's just being completely honest. I know we all struggle with this, and I'm trying to figure it all out, because I think that it is just a shame to go through life in that kind of prison that we all kind of find ourselves in now. Technology is a part of our lives. it would be hard to have to completely cut it off. So I'm hoping I don't have to go that far with it. But I know I could do it. So I'm going to have to hopefully not go in that direction. All right, well, in my next episode, I plan to talk about my 2021 goals. I shared with you here my biggest one, and that is to decrease my dependence on the cell phone. I have some other goals that we're excited about. We just set a family goal that is just fun. It's going to be a goal of spending more time together and doing fun things. So I'm really excited about that. And I plan to share that with you in my next episode, as well as a few business goals. And then I have a plan to share what were my best and worst purchases of 2020. So I'm compiling a list, kind of like walking around, thinking about it, and I plan to share that later. So thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Simple Farmhouse Life podcast. I don't know if this one really had much of a purpose except to just share with you where I am and what I plan to do about it, and hopefully relate with you in some way if you're going through that as well. I will update. I feel like I have an accountability partner now in you. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in episode 82 of the Simple Farmhouse Life podcast.